Hi, my name is Danica and today I have my November wrap-up. Almost all the books I read in November I reviewed at the library, so I'll link those all down below. The first book I finished in November was Briar's book, which is the fourth book in the Circle of Magic series by Tamora Pierce. It's one of the only books I read in November that I didn't review at the library. You've heard me gush about Tamora Pierce on this channel a lot, so I'll keep it to this. I loved this series. I probably like it even more than the Tortall series. And part of the reason I do is that it's a lot more diverse than the Tortall books. Half the main characters are people of color, and I know there's going to be a queer character, but I don't know who it is yet. I really love this series, and I can't wait to continue with the world this month with the next Circle of Magic series. Next, I read The Paying Guest by Sarah Waters. Sarah Waters is my favorite author, so I was really excited and also kind of nervous to pick up a new book by her. It is, of course, fantastic, but it was also kind of painful to read. It's really bleak. It definitely lives up to her other books, but I think Fingersmith and Tipping the Velvet are still my favorites. I definitely recommend anything by her, though. She is always excellent. And then I read two books by Kristen Stone that I got for review at the library. The Story of Ruth and Eliza / The Self-Help Workbook. So this is a novella as well as a poem in one volume. And I also got the Domestication Handbook, which is more of a novel by her. I really liked The Story of Ruth and Eliza. It's got a little bit of magical realism, and I loved the writing. It's really poetic. It's definitely one that I would like to reread in the future. The Domestication Handbook, unfortunately, I didn't enjoy as much. It felt a little bit disconnected for me. I didn't really feel like I was following what was happening. Next, I read Hero Worship by Rebecca Matthews, which was also a book sent to me for review. And I loved this book, but it was also kind of a painful reading experience. It's about a 20-something who's trying to get over her ex and just dealing with her suppressed desperation for love and attention, and I just felt so much sympathy for the main character that it sometimes physically hurt to read. It's a really quick read. It's only 123 pages, but I thought it was really effective. I picked up Lies We Tell Ourselves by Robin Talley. This is a young adult novel. It's set in 1959 in a high school that's first being integrated. It follows one of the first Black students to attend the school, as well as one of the girls who's on the anti-integration side. As soon as I heard about a lesbian young adult book that had an interracial romance in the 50s, I knew I wanted to pick it up. I really love when books tackle different intersections of experiences, and this is definitely a story I haven't heard told before. I thought it was really well done for the most part, partly because it's so complex. There's a lot going on in this book, and I really appreciated all the nuance that Talley included. And also, the framing device for this book is that each chapter starts with a lie we tell ourselves, and I thought that worked really well. I would highly recommend this book, and I can't wait for Robin Talley to write more. I'm definitely going to read her next books. Then I read Don't Bang the Barista by Lee Matthews. I really enjoyed most of this book, despite the title. It's actually a really interesting look at a group of queer women in Vancouver. It had a lot more depth than I was expecting. On the other hand, I really hated the romance. The romantic interest acts like a jerk the entire book, and I don't know why I'm supposed to root for her. Then I read Tributaries, Ikesia Book 1 by Elise Montoya. This is a fantasy series. Again, this is one that I really liked certain aspects of and really disliked other ones. I loved the main characters and I loved how they interacted, but I didn't feel like there was that much of a plot, and I felt like it was really weighed down by all these psychological conflicts without a lot happening outside of the main characters' minds. There is enough that I really liked that I would like to continue with the series, though. And the last book I read in November is A Bruise on Light by Shane L. Koyczan. Koyczan's my favorite poet, and this is his newest book of poetry. I really enjoyed it. I still like his earlier poems the best, I think. If you get a chance, you should try to see Koyczan perform, because his poetry is best heard. And that's everything I read this month. I don't usually do a TBR, but just quickly, I've been planning on making December a month of rereads, so right now I'm reading Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, and I'm hoping to pick up some more favorites later on in the month. I'm also going to read the next Circle of Magic series by Tamora Pierce, The Circle Opens, and I'm hoping to get to Wintertown by Stephen Edmund. I know almost nothing about this book, I just know that I marked it at some point in the year. It's a good December read, so I'm hoping to get to this month. That's all I have for now, so thank you for watching. Bye!